There we go. Which brings me to my next point, that if for some reason you have to leave this webinar early, please know that a recording of this webinar will be on our website at ptk.org/webinars. So if you have to leave early, it's really no problem. Or if you just want to refer back to this webinar later, go to ptk.org/webinars and you'll find this recording and several other recordings. So hopefully those will help you. Okay, looks like we still have 6 participants. So I'd love for the 6 people who are in the room to use the chat box right now and let us know where you're from, what chapter you're with. Are you a chapter officer, or are you a prospective member? Do you want more information about Phi Theta Kappa? And let us know. So hopefully we'll get some responses here soon. Okay, while we're waiting for those responses to come in, I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. We do have a PowerPoint to share, and I'm sure that we'll cover a lot of the questions that you have in the PowerPoint. But if for some reason we're not covering something that you have a question about, please, please, please use the Q&A box. This format is intended to be interactive. And so we really, really want everyone on the webinar to really ask us questions. As I say all the time, we are real people. We really will type a response to you. Brittany and I are actually probably 20 feet away from each other right now, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But we are at headquarters in Jackson, Mississippi. That's another thing that I like to tell people is international headquarters is actually located in Jackson, Mississippi. So Brittany and I are here in Jackson, and Jennifer is in Las Vegas. So we're all jealous about that because she has warm weather and she's in Vegas. But we really want this to be interactive, and we want you all to ask questions. So please ask questions so we can respond to you all, and I will go ahead and get started with the PowerPoint. Okay, can Jennifer and Brittany give me a thumbs up if they can see my PowerPoint? Cool. Okay, so some of you are probably prospective members. Some of you may already be members and you just want more information about Phi Theta Kappa. We are happy to offer that information to you. Okay, so for those of you who are not sure or want to know more about what exactly our organization does, Phi Theta Kappa is the oldest and largest international honor society serving community and technical college students. We were founded in 1918, so we are about to celebrate our 100th birthday next year, our centennial. And our mission, and you'll see the mission on the screen, has essentially remained the same over the last 100 years, which is kind of cool when you think about it. So our mission is to recognize the academic achievement of college students and to provide opportunities for them to grow as scholars and leaders. And so the key thing here is that it's a twofold mission. We want to recognize college students who are excelling in their academic coursework, but we also want to take it one step further and provide opportunities for them to grow as scholars and leaders. And throughout the presentation, you'll see a variety of ways in which you, as a prospective member of Phi Theta Kappa, would benefit from membership in Phi Theta Kappa from all of the opportunities we provide to be a better leader and a better scholar. Okay, so you may be wondering, well, who is a Phi Theta Kappa member? What does an average Phi Theta Kappa member look like? I do want to point out here on the screen that you'll see in the top corner of the PowerPoint, you'll see this hashtag IMPTK. And I want to point it out now because hashtag IMPTK is Phi Theta Kappa's latest marketing campaign. And it's really an inclusive membership campaign and marketing campaign that emphasizes that every single person is really Phi Theta Kappa. We are technical students, we are college students, we are single parents, we are students who are taking a full course load and working a full-time job. And so we really represent a true diverse array of students, and we're really, really proud of that. And so just to give you all a few examples and statistics about what an average Phi Theta Kappa member looks like, just look at your screen here. You'll see that 68% of Phi Theta Kappa members complete a bachelor's degree or higher. You'll also see that the average GPA is a 3.6, which is really, really, really good. That means that you are in the top echelon, the cream of the crop of your class at your community or technical college. You'll also see on the screen a 91%, and that means that 91% of Phi Theta Kappa members complete or transfer. And when I say complete, that means that either the member graduates from the 2-year school and moves on to a 4-year, or graduates and enters the workforce. So 91% of our members either transfer or complete, which is a really, really high statistic and something we're really proud of. Another number you'll see on the screen here is 73%. And 73% of our members use collegefish.org to connect with transfer recruiters. For the prospective members in the room, you may be thinking, well, Aariel, what is collegefish.org? I have no idea. Collegefish.org, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it later in the presentation, but just in short, collegefish.org is a website or a tool, a database that Phi Theta Kappa has created to really partner you with transfer opportunities at senior colleges. And so you fill out a profile on collegefish.org, you input your preferences and demographics, and CollegeFish will match you to various 4-year universities based on your needs. Again, we'll talk a little bit about that later in the presentation. Also, top majors. So one question that we tend to get is this: is Phi Theta Kappa limited to certain majors? And the answer is a resounding no. We are not limited to one major. We are actually all-inclusive. You can be any major and be a Phi Theta Kappa member. So on the screen here, you'll see that our top majors range from business, political science, nursing, pharmacy, science and technology, liberal arts, and English and the humanities. So we are literally all over. We have STEM majors, we have humanities majors, and in some cases we even offer scholarships tailored to a major. For instance, we do have some nursing specific scholarships available. So that's definitely a question we get a lot. You do not have to be a certain major to be a Phi Theta Kappa member. I do see, which is kind of exciting, that we have 9 people in the room. So I just want to acknowledge everybody who's taking the time to join us. And I want to say thank you for joining us. And we hope that we're answering your questions. Please continue to use the Q&A box and the chat box to ask questions and to say where you all are from. Okay. So now that I've talked a little bit about who the average Phi Theta Kappa member is, I'd like to tell you all a little bit more about where Phi Theta Kappa is located. So Phi Theta Kappa is an international organization, and we have about 1,300 chapters at community colleges and technical colleges throughout the world. And on this map, you'll see that Phi Theta Kappa is broken up into 4 divisions. And you'll see Division 1 is sort of the northeast quadrant of the U.S. Division 2 is the southern portion of the U.S. Division 3 is sort of central USA. And Division 4, and that's where Jennifer is like the West Coast. And so we have 1,300 chapters, and we also are divided by region. And so we have 29 different regions. And you can kind of see that outlined here. You'll see Division 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then there's also regions. So you belong to a division and you belong to a region. The cool thing about Phi Theta Kappa is that we have staff members, full-time staff members at headquarters who are devoted to specific regions. So if you have a question about something in your division, say you're in Division 4, which is sort of the west coast of the US, Keandrick Brown is the person you would contact. If you're in Division 2, which is Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, the southern portion of the US, Melissa Price is your contact person. And Melissa specifically works with chapters in Division 2. So in Division 3, your contact person would be Paige Still. Paige Still only works with chapters in Division 3. And in Division 1, your contact person would be Angele Flake. So if you are a prospective member, one of the cool things you can do now is to sort of locate where you are based on this map. Just get sort of a lay of the land and see what states are near you, what division you're in, and locate that now. Okay, this is a question I'm sure you're wondering as a prospective member. Am I eligible? So Phi Theta Kappa is a membership, is an invitation-only organization. I was about to go into details, but I'll start there. So you have to receive an invitation in order to be a member of Phi Theta Kappa. And so some of the criteria that we have here are important to note. So for instance, are you enrolled in an accredited institution offering an associate degree program? Have you completed at least 12 hours of coursework? Do you have at least a 3.5 GPA? And finally, like I said, did you receive an invitation to accept membership from the local chapter on your campus? So there's a little asterisk next to the do you have at least a 3.5 GPA? And that's because each chapter sets its own eligibility criteria. So for one chapter, the eligibility GPA could be a 3.5. For another chapter, the eligibility GPA could be a 3.75 or maybe even a 3.7. And so you really need to talk to your local chapter advisor to find out exactly what the eligibility requirements are at your chapter. One of the cool things about Phi Theta Kappa is that the advisors of Phi Theta Kappa are all faculty or staff persons on your campus. And so we have all of their information, all of their contact information. And Brittany, if you could put that link in the chat box, that would be great. It's a Find Your Advisor tool, and it's really just ptk.org/advisor search. And you can search by college name or you can search by state name and easily locate who your advisor is. So now I'm gonna ask for Jennifer, because Jennifer is really the person y'all want to hear from, not me. Jennifer has all of the personal testimony and experience in Phi Theta Kappa. So Jennifer, do you mind sharing a little bit about what it was like when you were invited to accept membership?
Thank you so much, Aariel. So when I was invited to join membership, I received an email and a letter, and I said to myself, what is this? You know, it's an honor society, so I figured it was something good. And I did some research, and when I got my first invite, I honestly was very skeptical. I said, you know, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is worth it. I do have to pay. You know, what am I going to get out of it? And so I let the first invitation pass, but when the second invitation came in, I did decide to go to the ptk.org website, and I said, let me do my research on their website instead of just kind of Googling it and seeing, you know, what people were saying about Phi Theta Kappa. And I think I did the best thing by going to the website, because that's where you really get to see and experience what Phi Theta Kappa is about. You get to see the opportunities, where your the chapter opportunities, the scholarship opportunities, and you know, being a member, it's even better because the opportunities go way beyond just a scholarship. Excuse excuse me, it can go from, you know, networking with someone, you know, meeting people within your community that can one day, you know, say, you know, I met you here, you were doing a community service event for Phi Theta Kappa. I know you're an honor student. I know you care about your grades and, you know, you're pursuing a career. Let me help you, you know, become a part of my community or help my community. And it can extend into job offers. And for me, I've been very lucky enough to have met a lot of people who have seen me in action doing service events. And they say to me, you know, when you're done with your degree, come find me, come see me. I would love to help you. I would love to give you an opportunity to work with me. So I think that being a Phi Theta Kappa member is definitely life-changing. For me, it has been life-changing. And, you know, when you take a look at that invitation, of course, everyone's going to be like, you know, a little bit clueless about what Phi Theta Kappa is, especially if members on campus aren't, you know, promoting it as we should be. But, you know, do a little bit of research and find out a little bit more information on anything that you receive, because it could be life-changing like Phi Theta Kappa has been for me.
I told y'all wanted to hear from Jennifer. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. You did what I hope people will do. Like, you were invited and you didn't know much about Phi Theta Kappa, so you actually went to the website. So you really, we have so many resources on our website, ptk.org. And if you just go there, even if you check us out on social media, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, you can learn so much more and get a better feel for what Phi Theta Kappa is. And so if you have questions about Phi Theta Kappa after you get your invitation, of course you can call us, you can email us, go to our website, try to find a chapter officer on your campus and talk to that person in person so you can get a better feel for what Phi Theta Kappa is. I just took a quick look at the chat box, and I just want to say welcome to Daniel, to Jared, to Anita, and I'm really happy that all of you are joining us. I saw a question from Daniel that Brittany responded to, but it's a great question because we get it all the time. Is Phi Theta Kappa a fraternity or a Greek organization in that sense? And the answer is no, we're not a fraternity or a sorority. We are an international honor society. And so we are not limited to men only or women only. We are open and accessible to everyone at community and technical colleges where there's a local Phi Theta Kappa chapter. So we're not the Greek fraternity or sorority that you may think of in that sense. So I just wanted to clear that up in case anybody was wondering. We are an international honor society. If you have any other questions, please feel free to post them in the Q&A box and we'll be glad to answer. I'm glad to see that people are joining us, and I saw that Daniel is from Psi Gamma, thinking about accepting membership. Daniel, I hope that we're answering all of your questions, but please feel free to keep asking us, and we're happy to do that. Okay, I will go ahead and go to the next slide here. Okay, common reasons for not accepting membership. So some of these reasons we hear pretty much daily at Phi Theta Kappa headquarters because there's a lot of misconceptions about what you have to do in order to be a member of Phi Theta Kappa. So the first reason, I have little or no time. I think I hear that multiple times a day. And so I just want to make sure to emphasize that there's no requirement that you devote X number of hours per week to Phi Theta Kappa. There's no requirement that you participate in local or regional or even international events. Of course, we want you guys to do that because that's how you really maximize your membership benefits, but it's not mandatory. And we say this all the time at Phi Theta Kappa, what you put into it is what you get out of it. So the more time and energy and effort you invest into your Phi Theta Kappa membership, the more you'll get out of it. But it's really important to know that none of that is required. I should have said this on the last slide, but the only thing that you really have to do, there's a maintenance GPA. So there's an eligibility GPA and a maintenance GPA. Your eligibility GPA is the GPA that is required of you to be able to be eligible to join. And then the maintenance GPA is usually a little bit lower than the eligibility GPA. And that's the GPA you have to maintain in order to remain a member. So for a lot of chapters, the eligibility GPA may be a 3.5, and the maintenance GPA may be a 3.25. And it's important to note here that even if you happen to fall below that GPA, the maintenance GPA, you typically have one academic term to pull it up. So you don't have to really worry about whether you're going to be able to retain your membership. As long as you're putting forth effort and maintaining that maintenance GPA, you really have little to worry about. Once you pay the one-time lifetime membership fee, there's no other fees that you have to pay. The one-time lifetime membership fee, it's actually different by chapter. So for every chapter, there's a local fee, there's a regional fee, and there's an international fee. Our international fee is $60. Our international fee is $60. And then each chapter has its own local fee, and each region has its own regional fee. And I'll say a little bit more about that in conjunction with the I cannot afford it bullet. So we totally understand that that is definitely a financial investment. We understand that, and we recognize that a lot of our prospective members will have financial need. But I do want to make the point that the one-time investment in your membership will return so much to you once you join. And I'm sure Jennifer can talk about this, and I'll ask you to chime in soon, but I want to also say that we also have a membership fee waiver. It's called the Golden Opportunity Scholarship, and it's not automatically given to members. Advisors at your chapter do have to nominate you to be considered for a Golden Opportunity Scholarship, but that is another reason why you should absolutely connect with the advisor on your campus. Go and talk to your local chapter advisor and ask, hey, I've heard about this Golden Opportunity Scholarship. You know, I am in financial need. Would you consider nominating me? Even better, we found out at headquarters that a lot of chapters actually have a foundation or a program that will assist members in paying that membership fee. So when you go and talk to your advisor, ask your advisor, does my school or does this chapter offer any membership fee assistance programs? And you may be surprised at that response. So to those members who may not be able to afford membership or think it may be a waste, please just reach out to us, talk to your local chapter advisor, and you'll really see that the one-time lifetime membership fee pays dividends really in the end. And Jennifer, I'd love to hear you. I know that as a chapter officer and a regional officer, I know you've heard some of these things before. So please share with us what you've heard and how you've responded to people who may have said some of these things to you.
Yeah, so the common thing that I always get is I've never heard of Phi Theta Kappa, and I thought it was a fraud, or I'm assuming it's a fraud because people don't do their research. And I always say to them, you know, go to ptk.org and you will see that it's not a fraud. Most things that are fraud, they don't have a website, they don't have anywhere where you can see who they really are. They won't have an address, they won't have a phone number, they won't have real people. So I always say, if we're here in front of you during Club Rush or during a tabling or a booth, you know, we're real, we really do exist, we're real students, we're real members. And like I mentioned, I always suggest go to ptk.org. Just take a look for yourself, find a little bit more information on there. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We don't have a Snapchat yet, but we are working on that. But we do like to tell our members, you know, do the research, because sometimes as much as we say, well, you know, we're Phi Theta Kappa, you know, we're the Nevada, California region, we're in College of Southern Nevada, sometimes people still have a little bit of doubt. And I think the best way to eliminate that doubt is when they see the organization for what it is, and that's on ptk.org. And following on social media such as Facebook or Instagram, you get to see real people and real people connecting and talking about Phi Theta Kappa, or, you know, commenting on a post. That's how you know it's real. And if you see someone with an IMPTK little banner on Facebook, add them, follow them, see what they are talking about. I stay pretty active on Facebook, and I like to be active on my chapter's Facebook to kind of tell our members, you know, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, or what we're participating in. And that's what I always tell them. If you have a little bit of doubt, you know, follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. You can add me on Facebook, or, you know, let me invite you to one of our chapter member meetings, or join us at a service event. Come and see what we really are. And that way people really get to experience, you know, what we are, instead of like, okay, it's Phi Theta Kappa, it's just an invitation, I'm not sure what it is. And we try to put a face behind it. And, you know, ptk.org is the best way. And a lot of people have, you know, gone to the website and came back to me and said, you know, I went to the website, I know that you guys are real, so I'm going to join. But if it doesn't, you know, come out that way, I highly encourage, you know, to ask your members to join you at service events or at chapter member meetings, because when they see other students involved, they'll know that it's real. They will see real people behind Phi Theta Kappa.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's so important. It's so, so, so important to be able to put a face to an organization. And so I hope that, in a sense, we're doing that for you all today. You can see that we really do support and work for Brittany and I, Phi Theta Kappa. But it's important to do that at your local chapter too. And so this is a shameless plug for me. I am the person who coordinates all of the visits to the Phi Theta Kappa Center for Excellence. So one, I encourage you all, if you want to come and visit Jackson, Mississippi, come to the Center for Excellence, and you'll get a tour. You'll get to see exactly what we do. You'll talk to our staff members, and you'll really experience what goes into Phi Theta Kappa, because we have a full-time staff here devoted to serving the needs of Phi Theta Kappa members and prospective members. So one, I encourage you to do that. And two, I was going to say that when the chapters who have visited the Center for Excellence have come, I've learned so many things and so many just sort of neat tricks that I think will benefit a lot of chapters. So one thing is, if you're at your local chapter and you're, say for instance, Jennifer mentioned Club Rush. Did I say that right, Jennifer? Club Rush. And that might be different at, you know, depending on what school you're at. So that could be an organizational fair. That can be one day when all the clubs on campus will put a booth out, maybe in the courtyard or in the student center, or in some common area, and really try to recruit new members or participants. I really encourage any prospective member who's on the fence about Phi Theta Kappa to, one, go to a meeting as a prospective member. You know, talk to the chapter who's there at the table and say, hey, I'd really like to just go to a meeting. I don't want to join yet. I just want to find out more information about this. And I'm sure the chapter officers there would love to have you, a prospective member, come to a local chapter meeting, or maybe even an activity or a service event, so that you can see exactly what will happen as a Phi Theta Kappa member on that chapter, on that campus. Another thing that I always tell people, especially when we're encouraging members and chapter officers to recruit new members, is to personalize your pitch to people. And so a good way to do that is to listen to other people's personal stories about Phi Theta Kappa, and maybe even go have coffee with them, or take a walk with them, or exchange Twitter handles with them, if, you know, something to personalize the Phi Theta Kappa experience. That is really, really, really important. Jennifer also brought to my attention IMPTK, and I started talking about that earlier, but I just want to re-emphasize that this is our latest marketing campaign, and she gave an awesome suggestion. She said, if you see anyone on Facebook with the IMPTK profile, send them a message. We are really, really friendly. We're really happy to talk to you. We have actually more than 3 million members and alum in Phi Theta Kappa right now, so we are really everywhere. And so if you see a Facebook profile with IMPTK, that means that that person is a supporter, is an alum, or is a member of Phi Theta Kappa. And so reach out to that person and ask for more information. That's a great way to go about learning more about Phi Theta Kappa. For any members who are on the webinar with us, I definitely encourage you all to go to ptk.org/toolkit. And that's the link where you can download materials that have IMPTK branded on them. So you can download table tents, you can download posters, stickers, and stuff like that. So you can download them and print them and pass them out at your campus, which is kind of cool. And on some of those materials, there's even white space there, so you can add your local chapter's contact information or personalize the campaign how you see fit. Okay, a couple of the other points on this slide I definitely want to point out is I'm about to transfer, and how can PTK help me when I complete school? And so one of the key benefits of membership in Phi Theta Kappa is called Competitive Edge. And Competitive Edge is an online self-paced professional development tool that is really beneficial to members at the community and technical college level, but also when those members become alumni. And it teaches you soft skills, it teaches you communication, it teaches you how to set professional goals. And this is just one example of why Phi Theta Kappa membership will benefit you even if you are about to transfer. Other reasons that Phi Theta Kappa will benefit you even if you are about to transfer is that we do have a network of more than 3 million people. And so networking and leadership skills as an alumna or alumnus are tremendous. We have international events. Like I said, we're about to celebrate our 100th birthday in Kansas City in April 2018. Hashtag PTK Party of the Century is what you'll see on social media. And so being able to network at those events and learn leadership skills. For instance, at PTK Catalyst 2018, we offer personal and professional development in our educational forums. And so being able to be a part of those things really, really extends beyond your time in a community college or a technical college. Okay, so it's 4:37. We have about 20 more minutes. We have a few more slides to get through. I do want to emphasize or encourage everybody to keep asking questions. Oh, I just read in the chat box, I am enjoying all of the questions, but I see that was from our panelist, Brittany, and I thought it was from, a participant. So yes, to all participants, please, please, please keep asking questions and let us know if we're not covering something that maybe you have a question about that we definitely want to cover. Okay. Okay, our Phi Theta Kappa structure is what you'll see here. We are really broken up into 3 levels. We have a local level, a regional level, and an international level. I'll start at the international level. The international level is really the highest level, and at that level, you'll find international officers, the Phi Theta Kappa staff, and the Phi Theta Kappa board of directors. And so the international officers are pictured here on your screen. They are 5 student members of Phi Theta Kappa. An international office is like the highest office a student member can hold at Phi Theta Kappa. And they are pictured here, and each person represents a different division, and there's an overall president. So the Amanda in the middle is actually the president. And then each person is responsible for a division. And it's sort of like having an executive internship. We view them as colleagues. They come to Phi Theta Kappa headquarters 3 to 4 times a year for orientation. They are ambassadors for us and are really, really great resources. If you all are not following them on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, I really encourage it. They are really great resources. Amanda Karpinski is the president, Don Cock, Jay, Fritz, Obi, and Tasha. So please go and find them on social media and you won't be sorry. Also on the international level are staff members like me and Brittany. We are full-time staff members based at headquarters. And we also have a board of directors that governs Phi Theta Kappa. At the regional level, I said earlier, we had 29 different regions. So for each region, there's a regional coordinator and maybe an associate regional coordinator. And those are positions that are chosen among advisors. So your regional coordinator and your associate regional coordinator, those are advisors who take on additional responsibility and serve the entire region instead of just serving their chapter. Regional officers, Jennifer is one great example of a regional officer. She is a regional officer for the Nevada, California region, and I'll ask her to share her experience as an officer in a bit. But each region has its own set of officers. So there are chapter officers at the local level, and then one notch above that, there are regional officers. And then finally, the local level, and really I like to say that the local level is really, really the foundation of Phi Theta Kappa, because that's really where you get to know more intimately and in-depthly your members, your advisors. You serve on committees together, you work on scholarship applications together, your chapter may have service projects. And so really it's the members, the chapter officers, and even alumni who participate at that local level. Okay, so I would like to talk a little bit about involvement. As I said earlier, involvement is not a requirement of Phi Theta Kappa, but we highly encourage it because we really want to maximize, or we want you to maximize the benefits of membership. And in order to maximize the benefits, you would want to be involved at least a little bit on the local level or the regional level or even on the international level. I know that Jennifer has done a lot of these things. She's both a chapter president and she's a regional officer. So Jennifer, if you don't mind talking about any one of these things and give your personal experience, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, let's see. So I've done, I would say, probably everything on this list. When I first started it to become active in Phi Theta Kappa, I went to a chapter meeting and I said, I want to know what Phi Theta Kappa really is. I mean, if I paid, I want to know, right? You kind of want to see what it really is about. And when you go to a chapter meeting, you get to see who your members are, the fellow colleagues that, you get to interact with. And for me, that was the best, starting point, because I got to meet amazing people. And crazy enough is that the people that I've met through Phi Theta Kappa have actually become, my real longtime friends. And, I got to give my input about organizing events. I love helping my community. It's like something that just grows within me. So when I went to a chapter meeting, I said, what are you guys doing for service events? And, they were busy. Fall semester is pretty busy because it's the end of the year, homeworks is coming up. So they were like, well, we're a little bit busy, but, if you can take on a service event, why not? So I said, okay, well, let's do it. So, I'm really interested in like feeding the homeless or working with our animals in the community. And that was like my starting point for me, was to get involved. And once I got involved, I got to really see what Phi Theta Kappa really stands for, what its members stand for, and the differences that you can meet. People, when you tell them, I'm part of an honor society, they look at you completely different than if you say, I'm just some student, or, not saying that being a regular student isn't important, but because you become part of something important and something valuable, such as Phi Theta Kappa, it really makes a difference for people to see that, honor students are not just caring about their studies, they're not just caring about their grades, but they're also caring about their community and the people that surround them. And so for me, having gone to do my community service events, when we say, we're from Phi Theta Kappa, an honor society at CSN or College of Southern Nevada campus. They love to hear that. They love to see that we're actually being active, that we're, doing more than just studying or getting good grades. And, I've gone to do induction ceremony. Our induction ceremony was at the beginning of December. It's amazing to see your new members come in, and it's that point, it's really important to interact with them, because when you interact with them, then they know that you're real, besides, already, having gone to induction. But it's an opportunity to see potential members who can be active and who can take on as chapter officers, or that you can see a leader and say, you would be a great regional officer. I've kept my eye out because I would love for people to represent Nevada. And I love going to my service events and during induction ceremony and seeing the personalities and people, to see a leader amongst the crowd. And usually there's always that one person who comes and approaches and has questions, and that they care or they're interested. And those are the people that you have to pull in. And so for me, that has been a great opportunity. And awareness and recruiting, like I mentioned, Club Rush is super important for, at least for my campus, because that's our way to interact with our members and reach our members. We also use Canvas, which is our student network, and that's also how we interact with our members. We, post about our service events coming up, or, we're working on HIA, which is our Honors in Action, how they can become involved. And so we really, want people to be involved, because you get more out of it when you're involved. Being a part of it is great, but, the feedback that you get, or the reward that you get to be involved, is so much bigger than just saying, I'm Phi Theta Kappa. So yeah, I could go on for days talking about all the great things that I've, experienced as a chapter officer, chapter president, and regional officer. It's endless opportunities. And, as a regional officer, I got to visit the Michigan region, and it was an amazing experience. Not only because you meet people there and you create a connection with someone who's miles away, but also because you get to see the differences in the members. Throughout our whole international Phi Theta Kappa, you see different ideas, different mentalities, and you get to feed off of that. And sometimes people have really great ideas outside of your region that you would love to bring to your region. And I know for me personally, I had an amazing experience in Michigan, so I wanted to implement some of those ideas into my own region. And that's, what I would love to work with my team, is to bring some of that to the Nevada, California region. So when people attend our regional events, they'll say, like, that was an amazing experience. It was memorable. I want to go back. I want to keep going, even as an alumni. And, I learned a lot of the cool little things from Michigan. The way that they interact with their members is a little different than we do. But, the opportunity that we get to see that as regional officers was amazing, because now we can say, like, we saw something cool, let's bring it to our region, let's get our members, involved. And yeah, so I can go on for days talking about the really great experiences, but those are a little bit of what I've experienced with involvement, with induction ceremony, with awareness, and also with, service events and the difference that it makes, and being a regional officer and a chapter officer.
That was awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I actually met Jennifer. She was one of 3 people from Nevada, California to actually come to the Phi Theta Kappa Center for Excellence. And so I can attest to all of that. She said this before with her fellow regional officers, and she's saying it again. And it reminds me of so many stories I hear from chapters and members and officers who come to the Center for Excellence and share those stories. Jennifer brought up so many things that I wrote down just now, so I'm just going to pick a couple. I love the fact that you said you can kind of see the leadership potential in other people, and you kind of keep your eye out for that, because that's one of the hallmarks of Phi Theta Kappa, is leadership. And so being able to identify future leaders and help them hone their skills as leaders, either as, seeing someone and saying, hey, I think you would be a great chapter officer, or you should think about running for regional office, or even you should look into international office. It's such a great opportunity to become a stronger leader and a better ambassador that will really affect you in ways that you least expect. You think, okay, this is just an organizational officer position, but it really encourages your personal growth in addition to your professional growth. So I just wanted to say that. You brought up Canvas, and I also want to point out that a lot of our chapters have online students and maybe several campuses to a school. And one of the ways that we say that members can connect with each other is online. So you can use Zoom, and Zoom is actually the platform we're using today. You can use Zoom to meet with people. You can use FaceTime. You can use Skype. And so think about being a little bit more creative or innovative in the ways that you connect with your members, because you want to meet your members where they are. And honestly, they're online, they're on their phones, they're, you know, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And so meet your members where they are. So I think it's great if you could even move meetings to online sometimes in order to make it more accessible. And then the induction ceremony. Jennifer brought up this point earlier. So every chapter does things a little bit differently. Let me say that. So at one chapter, an induction ceremony can be super formal. And at another, like full-on banquet or a sit-down dinner. And at another chapter, an induction ceremony can be super casual. You wear t-shirts, you know, it's more like a party. And Jennifer, you said this earlier, and stop me if you said this and I just missed it, but you said that it would be great if the faculty who prospective members wanted to thank, or maybe who were a big support system, were actually a part of an induction ceremony. And that's sort of a way that they can be involved. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I did mention that before. And I actually forgot to mention that when I was talking about induction ceremony. I think it's a great idea for members to, you know, my experiences with induction ceremony, members usually thank their professors because they've made a difference in their career or in their pursuing their careers. And I think it would be really neat for people to write down a message, a thank you to their professors who have made a difference and who have encouraged them to succeed and progress, and inviting them to their induction ceremony because it can get faculty to see that, you know, they do matter. And it's important for us to thank them because, you know, they do so much for us, and sometimes we forget to acknowledge that. And they contribute so much to our education. So I think it would be really nice to invite them to see you, you know, become a member of Phi Theta Kappa, you know, of a prestigious honor society. And it's not just any club, you know, for some colleges like mine, Phi Theta Kappa is, you know, a really important thing. So if you can thank your professors and invite them to your induction ceremony, I think it would be amazing because they would get to see, you know, what you've really done and how you really appreciate everything that they've done for you.
Yeah, thank you for adding to that. I thought that was a wonderful suggestion because it's really like the connection you make with a teacher that makes your experience sometimes, like in college or for a particular subject, or just feeling like you belong at a certain college. I mean, usually it's like the effect of one or two people. And so often those one or two people are your teachers or your faculty. So it would be cool if that could be incorporated into an induction ceremony. So before we end, there's at least one more slide here, additional benefits that I want to make sure I go over. And so one of the biggest draws of Phi Theta Kappa is access to scholarships. So we offer access to more than $90 million in scholarships. And that includes $37 million offered in transfer scholarships from some of the four-year schools that we partner with. So Phi Theta Kappa partners with about 750 senior colleges or four-year universities. And those universities will offer transfer scholarships to Phi Theta Kappa members. That is one just absolutely cool benefit of being a Phi Theta Kappa member, is that if there's a school in mind, you should research to see if they offer a Phi Theta Kappa scholarship. If you already have a school where you want to transfer, go and look. collegefish.org is a great resource for that. We offer scholarships to help students matriculate in community and technical college, and we also offer those scholarships administered by four-year schools as well. So we offer a lot, and the opportunities for scholarships are tremendous. We just finished our fall application. The deadline was December 1st, and it's just amazing to see the opportunities that are given to our members based on scholarships. I mean, and you can use the scholarships that Phi Theta Kappa administers. Another cool thing is that the money and the funds are issued to you, the student. And so you can use those funds to purchase textbooks, to do whatever you want to support your education. And that's something that we pride ourselves on. I talked a little bit earlier about some of our regional and international events. I said hashtag PTK Party of the Century because our 100th Centennial Convention, International Convention, is coming up in April 2018. We are hoping for about 6,000 attendees. And so it is going to be a huge party. We're going to have lots of food, lots of entertainment, lots of great speakers. And so I really encourage you all to go and check us out. If you go to ptk.org, there's an events tab you can click on, and then you click on annual convention to learn more about it. We offer other events, like we have an Honors Institute. That's the second bullet you'll see under that regional and international events tab. Honors Institute is more academic in nature, and it's where we have about 500 members and faculty and advisors convene on the campus of one four-year university. And we talk about academic research. We talk about small group discussion. We have seminars. And so it's a 1 week long experience where our members and our supporters can live on campus for a week and experience that, and then interact with your fellow members and chapter officers. Two other items on this slide I want to call everyone's attention to is one, the letters of recommendation. So this is probably one of the most basic or most accessible membership benefits. So as soon as you become a member, if you need a letter of recommendation, say for instance, you are applying to a four-year school and that four-year school requires a letter of recommendation, you can go online and request that Phi Theta Kappa send a letter of recommendation on your behalf to that school. Similarly, you can request that Phi Theta Kappa send a letter of recommendation to a potential employer. And lots of members take advantage of this on a daily basis. And this is one of the many membership benefits that you all will have access to. Corporate partners and special offers. We offer a range of benefits, and some of them are really, really practical. For instance, Phi Theta Kappa partners with Geico and Bank of America to offer members special discounts. And so I really encourage you to check with your local agencies and find out what sort of discounts are available to you as Phi Theta Kappa members. Feels like I've been talking so much, but I know that I just saw, thank you for being so thorough. I'm trying to be as thorough as possible, and I hope that if we haven't answered any of your questions, we also get a transcript of the Q&A box and the chat box. So if for some reason we didn't answer your question, we can easily follow up with you via email if you have provided your email address on the registration form. And so finally, this is my contact information, Aariel.charbonnet@ptk.org. And I say it if you're listening, it's not spelled the way it sounds. So I am the first person in the staff directory also. So if you all have any questions, you can email me directly. you can email help@ptk.org. You can reach out to Brittany, and we are happy to answer any questions you all have. So my direct number is listed here on this slide, and the number to Phi Theta Kappa headquarters. And so if you have questions, if you want more information, please reach out to us. I mean, that's what we're here for. Know that this webinar will be available at ptk.org/webinars. And reach out to us. We're happy to talk to you all. And Brittany and Jennifer, if you all have any closing words before we go, please feel free to share.
You want to go ahead, Brittany? You want to go before me?
Oh, no, you can go first.
Okay. I was just going to say that, you know, join Phi Theta Kappa if you haven't yet. And if you are a member already, take full advantage of the opportunities. The memories that you get from it are much more meaningful and, you know, much more bigger than a stipend. As I was answering to someone who asked a question about, you know, the stipend being more like a pension. And, you know, sometimes that money will be meaningless compared to the memories that you get to create, the people that you get to meet, and the opportunities that come to you from being a member of Phi Theta Kappa and being involved in your chapter. You know, become a chapter officer, become a regional, you know, vice president, president, or run for international office. If I could go back, I would definitely run for international office. I regret not, you know, becoming involved sooner. And, you know, I can't say I regret it because I've had an amazing experience, but the time that I've had is amazing. And if I could go back and change one thing, is that I would become involved right away. I would become a chapter officer. I would run for regional again. And I would definitely run for international office. The opportunities and the memories are just amazing. I, you know, will forever have Phi Theta Kappa in my heart. Even after I graduate, well, I already graduated, but even after I leave, you know, my undergraduate degree, I would still, you know, go back and visit members and become involved and, you know, help people see that the beautiful community of Phi Theta Kappa. So for me, you know, I've had an amazing time. I got to visit Mississippi Jackson, which was really, really cool. You get to see the real people, like you get to put a face behind Phi Theta Kappa, you know, even more. It's like all the people that are there, you know, that are doing everything for us. We don't get to see that. And it's really beautiful that, you know, there's people who care for us and are working hard behind the scenes. So I would definitely say, you know, if you get a chance to visit headquarters, and if you can't, send a thank you letter or call them and say, you know, thank you so much for everything you do. But become involved, do a lot of Phi Theta Kappa, and I promise you that you will not regret it. It's an amazing opportunity. You get so much more than what you pay for with the memories and, you know, the opportunities that come from Phi Theta Kappa. So thank you guys. And then I've also included my email in the chat box. So if any of you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available anytime. Maybe not past 10 p.m., but I'm available. And I would love to answer your questions or help you, or any ideas that you guys would like to, you know, share or, you know, create something, let me know, and I would love to help you guys.
I'm sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button. Jennifer really covered everything. I was just going to say that straight out of high school, I went to a four-year university, which some people can do, some people can't. But I really, like Jennifer stated, regret that I didn't attend a community college where I could utilize Phi Theta Kappa as a benefit to enhance all the membership skills Aariel provided to you, everything that Jennifer stated. That is one major regret that I do have. But I have my master's in 2018, so I really appreciate all the questions, all the concerns that were expressed in the chat and the Q&A. I also provided my email, brittany.stamps@ptk.org, if you all wanted to reach out, continue to chat, continue to ask me questions. But I really did enjoy this. We did have a small crowd, but it seemed like we had way more than 10 people because I was constantly busy asking questions, answering you all's questions. But I really did enjoy this, and you know, I hope everyone has a happy holiday. continue to do well, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you guys both so much. Just remember, anything we didn't answer, you can follow up with any of us. And then also check ptk.org/webinars. We do have another webinar tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time, and it's on the same topic, why accept membership. So if you want to join my colleague Heather for that one, feel free to. Otherwise, have a great holiday break, and thanks for joining us. See you all later.
Bye.